This area is the only area without bricks, but there's a lot of dirt there, and I don't think it'll cross it. If it does, I got two things, a water and a shovel. I got a lot of soft dirt over there. But I lit the fire on that side first, before I lit the fire on this side, because it will pull the fire kind of in that direction. Sometimes, not very often, but sometimes it'll jump across the bricks. In this section, well, it's a dangerous section for it to do that at, because there's a lot of that out there that could catch up. That's why I'm on this side. Now that way, everything there's bricks all out that way. Plus, that other side over there has already been burnt, and so it's not really gonna do. It can't really go that way. So I'm on the end that, and a little bit of water. Dirt's very good at putting out fire, especially if you you'd rather have charcoal and don't really want to, like if you want to still be able to use fuel later, you don't want to have to wait forever for it to dry out. See, that's what I wanted to do. See, instead of it coming back this way, I'd already lit the fire on that side for it to rise up and pull it in that direction. And keeping, see, sometimes it might cross it, but once it's crossed it and I've put it out, it's not going to go back across where it's already burnt. And I kind of want to let this burn this way a little bit more, but not much more. It's better to go ahead and put it out. It might turn into something harder to manage later. It's better to, when you're making yard fires, hand-laid yard fires, you don't really want to make them that big. Just big enough to burn off the thorns. And I don't have to get too greedy with it and get too dangerous. I don't have to try to burn all this off at once. I have a section I'm burning off about this big. I can run around it all easily. I can get from one end to the other. If I needed to, I could drop the phone and go get more water, shovel buckets of dirt this way. I got it really doing what I want it to do now. I got a brick barrier. Now, of course, fire could go up, fly in the wind, and get over this. This is not something that you just do without knowing what you're doing and without staying on top of what you're doing. This is not something a lot of times this is not something you do as a one-person job. It's good to have help. But I should, and I would recommend you to go ahead and lay bricks down around the whole thing. On this side that I haven't laid bricks on, I'm here on this side, and that dirt there. Now where this is already burnt, it is a good idea to go ahead and start raking these coals away, getting it to where you could walk on it, getting where you could dig some dirt up to smother fire with. See, and now I won't need bricks forever. What I'm going to do is I'm going to build a series of fire breaks around my building and fruit trees. That way, if part of my property catches on fire, I don't lose everything in the fire. Get on the side and just stir it up a little more. I'm gonna turn all this. It's too late for a winter crop, but for in early spring, maybe even earlier than that, late winter, probably early spring. Probably early spring. I'm gonna plant wheat, rye, oats, and barley in this section that you see the bricks in. And right now it's just a bunch of blackberry thorns and weeds. I'm also gonna raise the dirt level up a little bit here so I can step in my building easier. And I'm gonna dig all the weeds out and make a path across here. I've got this line here about 3-4 foot away from buried wire because I didn't want a fire burning on top of, probably wouldn't hurt it, but I just don't want a fire burning on top of buried wire. I started off with bricks around here, and then I made it to here. You know, I burn it piece by piece, section by section. That way legally I don't need a permit. Everything's laid by hand. This is and I can't walk across this before without briars getting it. You know, some of these thorns that go through my shoe, they scratch up my legs and everything. It's just not comfortable. Now I can walk in here and I can let's see, my elbows. Let me put it in my right hand. This stem's dried out. It's a little harder to chop than normal. But I can chop these briars down. I wanted a lot of them to lay down and burn out the way. Those probably, that's some kind of other plant, some kind of young tree. But I could chop them down to where I can walk through here and rake up a lot of it that didn't burn and put it on piles that didn't burn and burn it. Now that I got this section cleared where there's no grass that can spread, I can pile up wood and burn a fire and don't have to worry about it going nowhere and burning all my property down. And I can change the center of where that big fire is. As I'm keeping warm through the winter, I'll move my fire pile all around in this area, you know, and scorch it. Burn earth all the way to the roots. I don't care if I burn up all the nitrogen. I don't care. I want to put carbon in the soil. I want to put a bunch of charcoal in the water for water absorption. And there's going to be a lot of nitrogen that's not going to be available for a while. It's going to be soaked up into the charcoal. But once the charcoal becomes saturated with it, it'll become a fertilizer. I will add nitrogen back to this land. I'll take it, I'll burn it to death, then I will grade it for water, you know, so water spreads through it good and evenly and doesn't flood it. And then I will put a heavy layer of mulch. And this section, because of the way I'm doing it, it's probably going to be 3 years before it starts being as productive as other sections of my land, because I've just burned it and made the ground, you know. But then when it becomes productive, it'll be very productive for a long amount of time. And it's just a lot less labor intensive for me. Like if I come out here with my Maddox hand tool and I till all this up with the tight web of roots and briars and all, and that's just gonna be harder to do. But if I burn it like this, I dig a deep hole on that side and I'm able to dig up under the roots, I can turn all this soil way easier and shape it in rows and everything, and also get dirt to build my fire break around my house. I probably won't do it that way though. I'll probably just get dirt from the area where I'm working at. See how all that tall stuff, all that stuff, if one spark caught on fire, that would flame up and burn my building down. Now, I'm not going to risk burning a fire so close to the electricity there. I'm going to have to chop a lot of that out manually. But the rest of the house, I'm going to go around just like this. And because this was a wild area before, you know, the trees were cut out of it, it filled up with briars. I had to cut out every bit of land that I have fruit trees on or anything. I conquered from the thorns. And this area, right up by my door, I've kind of neglected it, working on everything else. And the thorns have come in. I had them gone maybe 6 years ago. I come in and got rid of them all and made it a grassland, but I haven't kept on top of it. And all these thorns have crept back in. But they won't now, because I'll have it as a mulched area and I'll farm it. Before, I didn't farm this area because I was farming that area. I was putting all my vegetable crops where my fruit trees are. But now that I've begun to fill that area with fruit trees, my garden's moving over here. So now I can come in and put patches of pine straw and sticks and just in some of these places that didn't burn out. And, you know, I can finish burning it out. I can walk around this area way easier, used to. That's the main thing, getting it where I can walk and move through it. Then I can bring the tools in and do the rest. I was telling you about getting up under the roots. I dug down to this level. Now I can just get the shovel right up under the roots. I ain't got to chop through the top, through all the vegetation and roots. I can get right up under the roots. And I got, this area is dirt dug out because I took that dirt to build this up like a ramp to walk in. And I'm gonna dig this dirt out here and I'm gonna level it out. I'm gonna make it basically a path that comes up here and goes around back out that way. And it will be more of a, and then there'll be like a drainage trench for water and a fire break around the whole house. And this area here will be a garden. And this area here, where I was suppressing weeds with bricks, I'm gonna take up these bricks, level this ground, and relay these bricks. But there's gonna be an open area, you know, to walk around in, and then paths. But there's gonna be open up areas too, where Brittany can put her flower garden. I got lucky today, or yesterday, or all night and this morning. I was out here burning them briars, and I forgot to shut the chickens in the pen. And I got here and I still had all of them. I don't know how I didn't lose one or two or three or all of them. I don't know how. That just blessed of God, I reckon. I just felt grateful to God because it seems like a miracle that an owl, a hawk, a fox, a possum, a raccoon, an otter, a weasel. There's just so many things around here that will eat my chickens when I'm not on point. And I wasn't on point, and I still have them all, and I don't know how that happened. Figured out what happened to my black and white hen, which is sad. I was thinking I might have had a human thief because nothing had got in the pen or out of the pen. And it turns out a board of wood that I had put up there for them to have as a walking ramp, chickens had jumped on it or something and knocked it down, and she was under it, and it hit her and killed her and crushed her. And then that was that smell I was smelling, and she just dried up, and she's been in the pen the whole time dead. Found her bones and everything. So that's bad that that happened. It's my fault for not nailing that ramp down. And I'm over here thinking it couldn't have been an animal this time. I thought the whole time somebody done stole one of my chickens, because I was talking about how much it cost. But no. See how this dirt, right this spot where I'm digging here, that's where I started a fire. So see, I started a fire and put bricks around about this big around in a circle, you know. And then as I extended the sides, the bricks that come across here, I use them to extend the sides and go get more bricks and put across that way. And I just burnt circle by circle till I got my way close enough to the door that I felt comfortable with. I did not get that, like where this brick line is, I never had fire past here. And I had a bunch of water here ready to go. And then when I dug this dirt out, I just piled it right on top of the grass, and I chopped the grass and weeds down to ground level. Just piled dirt on them. I'm gonna put bricks on it and smother it out. I'm gonna do the same thing there. So here we have it. Here there's some buried rotten plywood and stuff I found in the ground. I just got it smoking out into charcoal. So there's a lot of it that didn't burn up. Pretty much burnt the dry grass. But there's nothing really too tall to snap. You know, everything that is a briar that's sticking up is easy to be seen. It ain't got grass around it hiding it. It'd be easy to come in here with the machete and chop it all down to the ground, rake it back up, burn that. I think I'm talking too much. I think it's time to exit the stage. But you see that right there was looking like that out there, you know. See, that's way closer to the ground, way easier to walk through and